Today we will be looking at some beautiful yet mysterious places in this world that are off limits to tourists. So if you had them on your bucket list, maybe cross them off, as there's no way you'll be able to visit these places. Starting off this countdown, we have the Coca-Cola Vault. Located in Atlanta in a secure locked vault is the Coca-Cola secret recipe. Ravioli, ravioli, give me that formioli, am I right? The recipe for Coca-Cola is said to be one of the best kept secrets in the world. Apparently only 2 employees know the formula and have access to it. In 1920, the recipe was under lock and key at a New York bank. Then in 1925, it was transferred to the Trust Company in Atlanta. Then in 2011, they decided to move it into a vault into a museum in Atlanta. The museum garners hundreds of thousands of tourists each year, but they're never allowed through the doors of the vault. Only a select few exclusive Coca-Cola workers are allowed in this vault. I feel like we should make a National Treasure 3 in which Nicolas Cage tries to steal the Coca-Cola recipe from the vault. Who's with me? It'd be fun. In our 9th spot today, we have the Whites Club. Now this is an exclusive club in the UK. It was founded in 1693, and only a select few are allowed entry into this club. You know who can't go in? Women. This club is completely off limits to women. The only woman who was ever allowed to go in there was Queen Elizabeth. Now, members of this club include political leaders, senior bankers, and even heirs to the British throne. Now, what goes on in there? No one knows for sure. Only a couple of people have managed to sneak inside. In our 8th spot today, we have Heart Reef. Now this is a very popular tourist attraction part of Australia's Great Barrier Reef. People loved it because it was a reef shaped as a heart. But unfortunately, people have been banned from going there, including divers and snorkelers. And that's because the reef is at risk. So in order to protect its ecosystem, they don't allow anyone to go there. But if you do want to see the reef and get a good photo of it, they offer helicopter rides above. In our 7th spot, we have the Temple Mount. This temple dates back to the 1st century BC and contains the Dome of the Rock. This is a gold-topped Islamic shrine, very important in Jerusalem. Now, there are already strict rules for those who want to enter the Temple Mount, but there's even stricter rules for those that want to go to the Dome of Rock. Entry is only allowed for people who practice Islam. Non-Muslims are not allowed in it at all. One of the reasons as to why it's so sacred is because the Prophet Muhammad is traditionally believed to have ascended into heavens from this site. So out of respect, no tourists are allowed in unless you are Muslim. In our 6th spot, we have Club 33. Now this is a secret club in none other than Disney. Yes, Disney has a number of secrets, this being one of them. Club 33 is an exclusive place that Walt Disney himself created, and only the elite have access to it. How do you gain access to it? Well, you can't. It's invitation only. But even an invite doesn't guarantee you entry. And let's say you do become one of the elite who have access to the club. Well, you need to spend about $100,000 to solidify your membership, and you have to pay $30,000 a year to stay a member. So in the end, is it even worth it? I mean, if you got money to spend, then maybe. I just want to know what goes on in that club. Like, do they just get drunk and watch Disney movies all night or what? We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with Chichen Itza. Now this is actually one of the most popular tourist attractions in the world. Millions of tourists would come here every year to look at the Mayan pyramid. But since 2006, there is a rule that no one is allowed to go on the pyramid. Basically, in 2006, a woman was climbing down the pyramid when she fell and sadly lost her life. She had slipped on one of the steps that had been smoothed over from thousands of visitors' footsteps. So in order to prevent this from ever happening again, it became closed to the public. In our 4th spot, we have Poveglia, Italy. During the 18th century, this island was used as a dumping ground for victims of the plague. According to some reports, 50% of the island soil consists of human remains. Later, Napoleon used the island to store weapons, and then in the 1920s it became a mental hospital. But the hospital workers were corrupt and often conducted experiments on the patients. In fact, one story says that a doctor went mad and started butchering his patients. His life came to an end when he fell from the hospital's bell tower. Now it's believed that the island is haunted from all the people that died there. Now, if all that history didn't scare you away, then I don't know what will. But even if you are intrigued and want to go investigate this island, you can't. The island is abandoned and tourists aren't allowed to visit. In our third spot today, we have the old city of Sana'a. This city is filled with beautiful ancient tower houses, mosques, and other architectural gems. But it's most known for its tower houses, which are built from stone and fired brick. They can reach up to 8 stories in height. According from local legend, it was founded by Shem, one of the 3 sons of Noah. But the city is off limits to most tourists, and that's because they face persistent terrorist attacks, civil unrest, disease, and famine. There's also a risk of kidnapping, armed conflict, and landmines that you gotta worry about. So they prevent tourists from visiting for their own safety. In our second spot, we have the New York Stock Exchange. In movies, the floor at the New York Stock Exchange is filled with hustle and bustle. You got people running all over the place, pages flying, lines constantly ringing, and Leonardo DiCaprio. Now, in real life, who knows what it's like? And that's because no one is allowed in there. Now, for a while, the NYSE did allow public tours, but after 9/11, they seized all tours and haven't let any tourists or outsiders in since. You're only allowed in if you've been specially invited. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Jiangsu National Security Education Museum. Now, this is a spy museum that was opened in 2009, China. It's filled with cool spy devices like spy cameras, eavesdropping equipment, tiny pistols disguised as fountain pens, even guns disguised as lipstick, and more. It also contains a number of highly classified documents. As a result, foreigners and tourists are not allowed. A spokeswoman for the museum said, and I quote, "We don't want such sensitive spy information to be exposed to foreigners, so they're not allowed to enter." Also, for those that do enter the museum, they aren't even allowed to take photos. This shows just how secretive and intense this museum really is. They just want to protect its history and spy secrets. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. I know these places are off limits, but if you could travel to one of the places, which one would you go to? Probably the last one, because I've always wanted to be a spy. I think it'd be cool to see a gun that's in a lipstick, or a lipstick shaped gun. That just blows my mind. Now let's move on to our comment shoutout portion. I'll be shouting out comments from the video top 10 bizarre objects that might have come from a parallel universe. Joannie Rice commented, "This happened about 1 year ago. I was watching a new movie I just bought. I watched it and then I put it back into the DVD case, and then the next day I couldn't find it anywhere. Then all of a sudden I found it behind one of my stands on the floor." I don't know what to say. House elves are real, okay? Somebody is playing a trick on you, or the DVD went to another dimension. Yeah. Make asylums, oh, great again. Wow. Okay, that's an interesting name. Said, "You need more metal balls in your ear." Nice, and this guy's also got 69 subscribers, I just saw. But I guess they mean earrings. Anyway, we're moving on there. And Flora commented, "LOL, the McDonald's near me sells bags of ice for $1. I thought it was weird the first time I saw the sign, but I guess it's convenient for people without an ice machine and too lazy to fill up those trays." Honestly, I don't know what it is, but just McDonald's ice hits different. Like when you get a drink and they have those like flat, smooth ice cubes, you guys know what I'm talking about? It's so good. Also, the best type of ice is crushed ice. I don't know why. Crushed ice hits different. You guys all know there's different types of ice cubes. I'm not weird. Some ice cubes are better than others. I'm picky, but for $1, how big is that bag? Pretty good deal, as long as it's not like a little Ziploc bag. As long as it's a big bag, it's a good deal. Alright guys, that's all the comments I'm shouting out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see ya. Bye!